put pictures into my database, and
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but that does leave open options. Make it pretty easy to do things like they did with Macintosh and File Vision.
You'll be able to do things that you've never seen before. Put music in your spreadsheet. Oh, what a hard thought. Second thought, never mind. Scratch that one. That was a bad thought. Genline. $250 does that. This is a pre-production model. If it doesn't look all that good, that's probably the reason. It has two problems. A, you see the little tearing you see on the letters? It has a horizontal hold sync problem with this particular one. It also has a problem with the hues. Then again, that's another one that they're correcting. And it also has a problem with warm starting, and that's another one they fixed. This is a beta site from, when was this? This is December. Things change in a month real quick. You can do shapes. I love finding something stationary and just playing with it. And then when you can move them around. And then animate all that back up here so you can see it all. Whee! I told you.
I told you.
I told you. I was at this last store back over in Hickory, and there was this IBM nut who was just now moving over to the Amiga, complaining to the high heaven about Transformers not out and all this other stuff. And he says, you know, you could do animation with, you know, just drawing the picture on the screen and stopping the VCR and then going to the next frame and going, why? He goes, well, you can't draw it fast enough on the screen. I just left him a demo copy, no instructions. I said, here, play with this, see what you can get out of this. And it'll be interesting to see what he does. Go. I think it's kind of fun. You can go over here, you can draw circles. And stars. And you can go over here to your storage. We'll bring in a little heart. It's a little brush I drew with D-Paint. And a pretty interesting one. I'm going to leave this demo copy with you. You'll definitely want to look at Vader. We're not going to show it due to the fact that there are ladies in the room.
No, there's not. Oh, there's one. Yes, I'm sorry.
Becky, would you mind going Imagine this lady laying on the beach and a crab reaching from underneath the towel and ripping off her top. Interesting looking to say the least. The big thing you have to remember to move things from Deluxe Paint to this program here is save all your pictures with the word point pick on the end, save all your brushes with the point WI on the end, WIN. If you do that, you will have no problems. It doesn't take any extra keystrokes practically. I mean, 4 extra keystrokes, that's it. But that way there, animator knows it's a window or it's a background picture or something like that. Medium art. You get this little tiny raster image up here, position it wherever you want to position it. Then you can do things like clone it. Make a bunch of copies all over the place. And we'll go to our next queen. We can rotate those guys. Now this is what I was telling you about. Animator is able to do bit manipulations. In other words, actually able to flip these guys and do all sorts of neat stuff.
You mean video?
Video construction, yes, thank you. This one is able to do weird things like this, but not actually manipulate them per se. Okay. Most of the time you can get away with doing that type of animation, but in some cases you need something a little bit more.
What about any kind of metamorphosis? Isn't there something you've forgotten to show us that?
No, I haven't forgotten. I neglected to show you. The main reason being gives me something to show when somebody asks me, okay, but doesn't do this also. Reflex. Wink. Metamorphing it like that, or we can do things like grabbing letters and doing the same thing. I've got another disc that has nothing but the letters of the alphabet on it. Playing with it, also rotating it while it does that. You can rotate things in the X, Y, and Z axis if we want to bad enough. Rotate in the X axis, all. Like little things floating in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, you get the idea of some of the stuff you can do. You can also bring in text and things like that if you want to. Bubbles. Storage. What do I call the bubbles? Says. Now that image there came from, it was supposed to fit in that little cockpit display window, and we just overlaid it on top of that. You notice it's doing cycling of colors, so you can do that type of stuff also.
Which resolution mode is this?
We're in low res.
Can you do all this in high?
We could do this in high, yeah. You would really need more memory than what we have here.
Does it slow down much? Or just needs more memory?
Just needs more memory. One I'm suggesting to most of the cable companies to get about 1.5 meg. Sounds like a lot of memory, but picturing that that high-res picture at 16 colors will eat 128K of fly. You just don't have the memory to pull it off. Not in 512.
That's the color limitation. What was the palette? What was your palette? How large a palette do you have?
4096. But just doing 16 colors in high res will give you 128K right there. You can get more colors in high res if you know what you're doing, but in most of the software, the operating system supports most of the time 16 colors. Man, 16 colors. If you've ever seen Mandrill, it doesn't look like 16 colors. That's all it's done.
And that's only 16 out of the 4,096. Totally up to you. And it's 32 in the medium, or the low res. Go ahead and show us the Vader. Heck, she doesn't mind.
Huh?
I don't care.
Well, there's one thing I do want to show you. Deep paint. Where is that?
Dave, do you know where the catalog's on?
Yeah, mine. Which ones do you mean?
I don't know, I have to look up software to order.
Right. What pieces?
Learn about sounds.
I wouldn't really get that anymore. They quit making that. The new one is the learning to read.
Yeah, she's got that. She says that's more advanced than what she wants for her kids.
If we don't have learn about sounds,
We can only do 8 colors in high res right now because we don't have enough memory. But we can do 8 colors almost. In other words, it doesn't have enough room for the entire program in memory because when it does this, it actually has 2 images that it's storing. The one that was just before you did the last operation and the one you're looking at. So that's 256K right there. Then when you start doing things like you have to have your program in there, there's 100K taken up by your operating system, 512 goes away real quick. Okay. There was a reason why we left 8.5 megabytes in there. That was it.
You can load deep paint with a 512K machine in 16 colors. But
Yeah, but
you don't have your flip back and forth work.
And you also you can't have your second drive hooked up because that takes 60K right off the top, no, 35K, and some other stuff. But if you have nothing but a single drive machine, you can technically do the high res in 16 colors. Do a circle. That's a high-res circle. Now this bleeding you see right here, that's just due to the fact that horizontal sync problem with this particular chinlock system. But if you notice, we are doing high-res on a low-res image coming in, or a television signal.
They should put a bed in it.
Whoops, I'm back. Not what I wanted to do. That's me back. Okay, okay.
You haven't anchored it.
Yeah, no.
There you
If you don't anchor it properly, you can do weird stuff. And then you can actually get rid of all the edges that you see here by dithering, and you don't even need to know how to do dithering to do it. There's a built-in shade function which does the dithering automatically for you. You just set up the range that you want to work in. Now see, I just went to the palette, and instead of coming from memory, it had to go off the disk to get back into here. There's a shade function to there.
So it's mostly that when it's black against white, we get that awful shimmer from the interlace mode. Huh?
That's right. High contrast. Does it to you all the time. That's not what I want to do. And we'll leave it at that. Okay, okay, come on. I'm used to working with my machine at the office, and you don't have. All sorts of weird stuff. If we zoom up on that, what I'm actually doing is I'm painting in a lot of colors at one time. And it's automatically putting the extra colors on the edges because I told it to set it to do that. It's a long story on how you do that, but we will get into that. Background image, black. And go back into this. That's a weird image. And what that is actually all the colors at one time. You saw how hard that was to do. In actuality, we can go over here to our palette and have fun. Neat things like this. Copy that there and make that. Do that there. Make a spread there. Make our range for there.
David, how about World War III? Or the IBM?
I'm not.
I thought that was a political question.
And then go back in here with your drawing. It's still drawing. Come back. Oh well. Anyway, when you go into the shading type feature, notice the soft edges. No jaggies. All gone.
Could you have captured any part of that background image of the Genlock into this?
That's digitizers.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Genlock overlays a video image on, a computer image on top of a video image. Digitizers grab video images and convert them into computer images.
You could then manipulate it
Right.
any way you want.
So for $500, you essentially got your nice little television studio with a digitizer system of whatever resolution. Not getting into that, but and then you have your frame grabber on top of that. Oh no. What? you got the shade set up. You want to clear the background of that red? Nice burn. Now remember, your background color is not in your shade sequence, so it's not going to do anything.
I don't want to be in shade.
Oh, I'll show you. You go out of shade real quick. Otherwise, press F2. No. iRes is neat. The only problem is it needs memory like man.
And you could on your preferences, take that arrow and make it virtually non-existent, and then you could have a ball.
But see, most of this stuff, if you're going to do this over into the image, to put it on a cable or something like that, you do all your main drawing on this image, and then you go over to your animator and you load that up as a background picture, and you do all the animation on top of that. Because on the animation, you have this thing called play loop. Play loop, essentially, all it is shuts down your menu bar across the top, takes away your cursor, takes away your mousey, everything, gives you nothing but the image you're looking at, and then plays a sequence if you tell it to play. Until you press one of the mouse buttons, you see nothing but the image on the screen.
Can you switch priority? In other words, put the computer behind?
Not on this. I mean, how would you be able to do that? That would take key coloring and all sorts of other nasty stuff, and barely that many other people can do it. I mean, it takes big bucks to pull off stuff like that, to see through objects and things like that. What do you think?
I did that before.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Control key. They don't document it very well. They say it repeats. Mwah. Okay, what does it repeat? And you have to play with it and figure out the rest. What did you start playing with? Oh, that's really neat stuff.
feel hypnotized.
We'll all look at the image on the screen and be hypnotized.
You will buy your Amigas today. In fact, you need a spare.
You need a spare. You know, take all of 15 minutes to drive down to the store. You can't live without it that long.
Now, what were you saying about the digitizer and the frame grabber? We didn't, cause we were in after you apparently talked about that.
I didn't.
Is
I
it
said it
available?
exists. It'll
Yeah.
be coming out for the same price tag this is.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be coming out the end of February, beginning of March, and no specifications on it.
Okay.
That can be given out at present.
It exists on that tape that's
Yes,
floating
they
around
have that
somewhere?
picture on that tape.
Okay.
Amiga Live.
Yeah. We have not been able to see that yet.
Nope. Well, probably not. They've got it here somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it's popular.
Popular?
We haven't seen it yet.
That's right. Take it down to the local cable group and let them rent it out.
And when did you say that was going to be available?
End of February, beginning of March. Are you taping all this so that you can take me to court on all this?
Gotcha.
All right.
No.
Sure, you have such fun.
You didn't say what year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're okay. You're okay.
And I won't buy one. But that's supposed to be about the same price tag, but it's gonna have some extra software to go with it. Genlock's no need for software. I mean, what do?
Yeah.
You put one on top of another, that's it. Frame Grabber, on the other hand, takes some software that'll let you copy things over into the Deluxe Paint format or Animator format, and then take it from there. But what it ends up doing, no one's talking.
We've heard rumors from 1 frame to 30 frames to 30 seconds to.
What do you mean?
Uh-huh.
I do know it's color. Now, whether that's the box that it's in or it's actually able to do that is another question altogether. But it
All
will
you're
be,
saying is it's a wonderful thing.
it's a really nice
It's a
thing
really
sitting
wonderful
beside my
thing.
computer at the office, yeah. Does really neat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not even allowed to bring it out to show the final version until middle of February. Genlock I can bring out, obviously, but this one I can't, that one I couldn't. But I know this much, there's a Genlock coming from another company for the Amiga. It's 2 sources of video. Why? Wouldn't that be weird?
So you can switch or, yeah.
Who
You'd
knows?
have to have them locked so you can do anything with it.
Obviously, locking can be done if we're doing it right now.
Well, your 2 sources would have to be locked if you're going to do any dissolves or matting or anything like that.
Well, we'll have to see what it ends up looking like.
Ain't
It's
no
coming
wa-
out in March.
Ain't no way you can digitize fast enough. Ain't no way.
Didn't think this was possible
I didn't
either.
either.
Oh, by the way, using brushes, you can get things from one resolution to another. Cutting it out of one, pasting it into a higher resolution. But remember, your dots are twice as small. Okay, so everything's shrunk down real good and everything like that. Plus, you may not have all the same colors as you had before. So you'll have to play with it there. But doing text on this type of resolution, those fonts.
Ask a dumb question, what is resolution on this?
We're in 640 by 400. Who asked?
Yeah, it was one problem, no, but there was a problem I had earlier was that there was not a large set of letters. Everything had was small.
Yeah, the reason was we did all our work in 640 by 400. 640 by 200. There was no need for a twice high font. But font makers are coming out with 1.2, so you with a Deluxe Paint make your own fonts.
Yeah.
Which is what you would end up wanting to do anyway, so you could do all the things that you see on these nice Chiron generators, font yay big,
And that is available when?
and multicolor fonts.
Yes.
Shadows.
Yes.
Not too many people know it, but fonts can be up to 4 colors. But
Availability.
1.2, end of February. See, it's all coming at the
It's all
same time.
coming,
Isn't
yeah.
that neat? All right, so
Sounds
under
like
fonts.
Madison Avenue to me.
Chiron is suing and Quanta is suing. And
But you can double it by using this, but remember, you lose resolution when you double them because your dots are twice as high and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Right.
But realistically, on a TV set, 320 by 200 is almost a good resolution. Because how bad TVs mix everything together anyway. 640 by 400, no, you won't have any edges.
That's what you gotta have.
I know. I was in TV before I was in computer. That's why I have
You
so
got
much-
smart. You got out of TV.
It was more or less, it was too slow moving, so I got into something a little bit faster.
Have you been able to hang on?
Oh, my
Right.
Been in
Right.
this for 3 years. Grab onto what you can and just stick with it for a while.
Okay, there's no women now, let's go with the bathing beauty.
Ah, no.
Sure.
By the way, an easy way to do your shadowing effect is like that shadow, just changing the color of the character to put on top of it. And then again, you can do that automatically with the fonts. Or then you can do things like this. Yeah. But that's up to you and how you want
Now make the top layer a different color. Let that be a drop to the back and make your top row be a different color.
Yeah, just totally depending on which button you hold as you pull it out. That's
Okay.
what color it
And you
draws.
can go back and set that, yeah.
undo.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. There we are. Now we have this really weird looking shadow of a letter, which was easy to pull off. Once I got the right colors up there. It's looking at first. Anyway, that's simple stuff.
You can also,
There's so many different things that Let's Paint does.
by using a different background color, anchoring your line
Yeah. Yeah.
with the right-hand button, you'll draw everything in red up to the last thing, and your yellow image will still be there, and you just click.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
that's what
I
he
wanted.
wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the name of this package?
So Let's Paint.
We'll tell you for $50.
Yeah, right.
And then give it to you for $17 more.
How are you mixing the two signals together?
Gin lock. It's a little tiny box that plugs into the back of the Amiga. Everybody was. Huh? You're
I
right.
just got here, I'm trying to figure all
On
this
the
out.
back of the Amiga, on the front of the Amiga, you've got this thing where you can slide your keyboard in. On the back of the Amiga, there's another section that's free. Everybody up to this date had been questioning why. If anybody had ever noticed, on the middle bar going across the support bar, there are two little latches where something plugs into. That's what this is. Screws onto the RGB source. That's why the RGB plug is so big and weird. And then just slides right in there, and I can pick up this Amiga and it'll automatically be locked to the bottom from now on. Until I unscrew it, because I have to take it back because I couldn't leave it with these guys.
I got a notice about a CAD package.
They've got a CAD package here. I wasn't allowed to bring mine, but they've got one here now. It's a demo, it's supposed to be out first part of February.
Okay. But you're not demonstrating that today?
I've only seen my copy, I don't know what version they've got, so I haven't gotten a hold of it yet. They've got it buried here somewhere, they just got it the other day.
It's fairly simple, it's not real. Yeah, the demo
Yeah.
version is not, ain't got a lot of the features in it yet.
Yeah. That's what, I don't even know the version number. My version number I wasn't allowed to bring out, that's why I don't know what they've got. If they have a real old version, then I know why they can bring it out. It doesn't have any of the neat features yet.
It's the one coming from the context, y'all.
Yeah, Aegis. The Aegis people. Now, Aegis draw should be out first part of February. At least that's their most present time.
All right.
I know the guy that's writing that. He's a weird man, but he knows his stuff.
And it's designed to compete with AutoCAD? That's what-
I got a spec sheet out in the car comparing them side by side, and you'd buy Aegis draw, trust me, you would. It's $199 does everything AutoCAD does plus more. So,
Stress calculations and everything.
that's what they say. Plus, there's a professional version that does even more, but it'll cost you more money. That's supposed to work in 3D and some other neat stuff. So.
Okay.
It's in 600 by 400.
Oh, I know it.
Can be.
He's got a bulletin board up on the Amiga, so that's a start right there.
Want to load yours up into the
I
car?
have to give you my book.
Any other questions?
Okay. First thing, give you my book.
I believe
Can
that
you do scrolls and rolls and crawls?
You can with Anna. just due to these programs were not designed with Genlock in mind.
Mill show in Frankfurt, they did.
So a
They
graphic
had 9
package designed for Genlock would obviously want to do
3
overscan.
by 3, and they had a machine that put the image on all of them. So that something moved across the screen.
I like doing these things. Especially cable companies, they always come in saying, so they claim they do it, big deal. That doesn't mean they do it. And then they come in here and they actually see it work and they're going,
It's amazing.
you can't do this.
Yeah.
I was told very bluntly in Myrtle Beach that I can't do what I'm doing. And I'm going, you say so.
Yeah.
You pay 75 grand to do the exact same stuff. Be my guest. I know.
Hey, you got any online packages left?
We got more coming in, we're out of it, but there should be here.
The VBS package should be coming out too, they just got
The
them.
other problem child we've been having. Let me get a hold of my Deluxe Paint pictures. Have you ever seen the gorilla?
I don't think so.
What are you saying? Not the mandrill.
Not the mandrill, the gorilla.
The white albino gorilla.
An albino gorilla.
You have to see it to believe it.
It's cute.
First things first, it definitely doesn't look like it's in low res.
What do you got, 320 by 200 or?
It's 320 by 200. That's the resolution it was in.
Yeah.
Electronic Arts and Commodore have got two things in mind. They've got two people that know how to program.
They're running a special today.
Where'd you get hold of the gorilla?
Huh?
Where'd you get hold of the
Oh,
gorilla?
the bulletin board, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, well,
Somebody
it was
downloaded it to
floating
my
around
board?
on the bulletin board, I remember that.
What was that?
The white albino gorilla.
Somebody downloaded it to the board.
Someone uploaded it to the board?
You uploaded it to me. I looked at it and said, that's cute, so I put it in the download section.
Yeah, it's over here. We had too many diskettes. There we go.
No.
Don't talk to me about too many diskettes. I got about 500.
Yeah, but with 880K on each one, you easily lose programs.
I've got
a
on
picture
the
that was
IBM
very
PC I run
good.
800K.
Huh?
On a diskette. I've got on my IBM PC I run 800K.
720?
I put a 80 track drive on it and have a software driver. Then let's just put 800K on the file. I also got a 21 megabyte hard disk.
You go,
Our megabyte stuff for
you're
$1100
going
It's
with
all
it.
full. Every bit, I have about 100K left on the hard disk.
What computer you using?
Yeah, that's a Tel Video, but it's the IBM PC. It's compatible.
Thursday, I didn't think Amiga had a hard drive out yet.
It does.
Where and when?
Oh, they've got it for third party already. They've had it available third party since middle of December. Microforge. You have to find out how to get in touch with them. I'm on my 5th number.
Are they using the standard one?
I'm slowly
Where's
working.
Microforge? When I talk to them, they've kind of got a clutched together thing in a way, don't they? I mean, with the external.
Back in
131
December,
powers.
yeah. They really suggest you heavily work with it instead of with they suggest you buy the 7-card adapter. Is that what you're looking for?
Okay, go ahead and do some manipulations.
Well, you can do things like, let's go ahead and zoom up on it to prove that it's actually being drawn. What the hell? Do
And
nasty.
that's low resolution.
It's low res. See through his nostrils.
Yeah, we have plenty of them. We go ahead.
Have you seen that before someplace, Mark?
We're gonna bend him out of shape.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably one of the weirdest things you can do with this program.
Yeah.
Let's go over and do text. Bending text all out of all distortion shapes is pretty neat too. Load up all the different fonts. Okay.
Take your character generator, Russ, and frame grabber and grab it and then alter the text.
Yeah, what
Put
about a
it
frame
back.
grabber?
When they get all that stuff in, yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, it's
great.
coming out,
Coming out?
end of February.
Seems to be some interest in that, doesn't there?
Black and white, strictly black and white? Or
Well, personally, the way I think about it, the cable companies are gonna love using frame grabber engine lock. And I expect most of them to have them both hooked up.
Yeah.
Is the,
He's going with drool coming out of his mouth.
the,
We're not talking about the frame grabber. I'm not allowed to give out any
Oh, okay.
details. Everybody else has already asked, so don't bother.
Maybe we got some thumb screws.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kinda outnumbered here.
All right.
Beat it out of him, I won't come back again.
He'll never leave.
Yeah.
You're right.
We're about never going back again.
I got this way, how much good does it really do to know, you know? And-
There's some information that can't be given out to the public at present.
We're not public.
I'm not saying
All
corporation.
We don't represent the
that's what I
public.
thought, that's why I got out here.
I've heard that it's in color, but if that's the case, or it's actually gonna be what it does, or something like that, who knows? Anything else?
Have one of those. What do you say, Herb? First dozen or so, I guess.
Mm.
I pick that up next. Knuckles to get that. We get it on now. To get that in the music. Did you get it here? Yeah. That's maybe the one I want to use. First, we should have possible stuff yourself.
You already got a bunch of programs. You can use your program. Got them all.
You.
Well, I know what I wanna
Still
do.
teaching out in school.
How about the media, is Commodore thing releasing anything? Is that gonna be strictly third-party?
We didn't have to.
Where do they get all this information from? You don't tell
No,
them.
no, it's all through the magazines. Everybody knows the MIDI's coming, supposedly $49.95, supposedly right away.
I know, I'm just joking. MIDI system is supposedly going to be able, for $49, to let you essentially hook up to your RS-232 port, let you control 16 instruments out there. Commodore is going to release one. There's another one coming from Cherry Lane, which may or not be the one that's coming from Commodore. Nobody's too sure. And the keyboard's definitely not coming from Commodore, it's coming from Cherry Lane. Now, Cherry Lane's been talking to EA, maybe producing them, but EA says no hardware. So nobody knows exactly who the hell's going to be distributing it, but all I do know is that MusicCraft and ConcertCraft are finished, and they're finishing up the drivers on the other two products, and they'll all be out at the end of the month. Now, who it's going to come from, Cherry Lane, Commodore, Electronic Arts? Your guess is as good as
Well, at
mine.
least it's coming from somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody products international.
Somebody's Products International. All right, church.
Or did you be better off with Dr. T sequencer and a Commodore 64?
Huh?
Somebody said that the one from Cherry Lane's not that good.
They obviously haven't seen the one from Cherry Lane. It is a good product, to say the least. And they who have not seen it will obviously tell you that it's not, mainly because they have money in stake with the other one already. They don't want to buy something else. Nobody likes the idea of what they just bought, especially cable companies, outmoding price-wise. So you'll obviously hear a lot of people say that it's not as good as the one that they've got already, because they don't want to lose what they've already got.
They don't want the boss to know.
What do you mean I just bought it? Would have got it for $1,000 cheaper. I'm sorry, I didn't know about it. That's no excuse, you're fired. It's easy to do mobile strips doing that too.
This Genlock board is able to take unstable video, like a VTR.
This one isn't, but the final one is. That's that horizontal link problem they were having. They fixed that supposedly beginning of January, but I don't have that version. Coming from a tape source.
Yeah.
When's Genlock actually supposed to show?
15.
What about like a video disc player?
That should be stable.
Yeah.
Oh, video disc players are stable. It's these crazy tape players, especially the portable ones,
Yeah.
which
Well,
have no crystal.
yeah.
So It's like, we have no sync locks.
No such thing as stable tape.
There is, but it costs too much.
Time-based corrected, time-based corrected.
IBM and they're just spelled out how well
Time-based
it's
corrected,
blocked
yeah,
out.
but tape, no.
Hey, huh?
Time-based corrected, yeah, but tape, no. Okay.
What else?
Optical disk drives.
I've heard they're coming. I've heard they're coming for a lot of computers,
CD.
but I haven't seen it
Dell
come
has
for
one coming
anybody,
out, Rod.
including
There's one coming from
Tramiel.
the Dell.
I'll tell you this
It's
much.
CD.
Yeah, that's right. Coming out for their,
Timex Sinclair.
yeah, the Atom system's coming out also. Optical disk drive from DR. He hasn't had it since November. We haven't heard anything new claims about it either. Even the newest Comdex, they didn't bring it out. The reason for that, he didn't pay. Guess who they walked over to and they said, guess what?
Who did they walk over to?
They went, guess what? Got this thing already finished up, cost you this much money. Commodore says, no, we'll pay you less. And they go, okay, no problem. And that is supposedly going to be coming out. Now where, when, how much, anything like that? Nothing official's been said
It's
yet.
gonna be read-only, right? You don't know. Okay.
Worm units still are vastly expensive, but read-only units are the ones that are going to be. I mean, you really don't want to write to an encyclopedia. You just want to read from it.
It'd be nice to write. Not necessarily to a cyclopedia.
Well, what I would suggest in those cases is get yourself a hard drive and get yourself an optical disc, and then you've got it made. Now I do, well, no, can't say that.
Go ahead and say it.
We're going to have a nice long conversation after all this is over to tell you all the things that I just told them that they couldn't hear.
I'll give you that.
We got the big story anyway. We know everything that goes on here. You might want to show them Aegis Hamlet. I mean, Aegis Drone. Did you bring it or?
No, I told you I didn't bring mine because I was told I couldn't.
Who told you?
Somewhere we go.
Aegis.
Very
Very
they
bluntly.
say. Nobody's made us here.
Draw here, guys? or-
Right, yeah.
No older than Comdex in November, maybe later. He's got the Comdex demo.
Oh, the November one? Oh, yeah, this is old.
It could be December.
This software is not for sale. I
It's
love
a
this.
freebie.
When you watch this happen, now I'm no CAD expert, but when you watch this happening here, you have to understand that what you see as being very slow to draw is because it's not drawing just what you're seeing on the screen, it's drawing everything down behind it. And in other words, you can zoom to infinity. And so even though you can't see it, it's drawing all these little details mathematically in its memory, you know.
Alrighty, let's see what's out there in the world. Has he got anything on the disc?
Yeah, Erd, Door,
Las Vegas.
Door 1's pretty good. You could load demo. That's that
This
comment.
is a very old one.
Yeah.
You can tell by the speed, just the date. The one I've got is January 5th.
A lot faster. What you say that?
I guess that's an answer.
That's why I'll be glad they come up with a hard drive.
Well, this is
Especially on
supposed to ship
bulletin board
right away.
systems.
Yeah, this is supposed to be shipping end of this month, beginning of next. William was adding more and more features into it. They says, no more, this is it. He's pretty bad when it comes down to doing all that.
Go to full screen.
Yeah. Hello?
Over on the right.
Where?
Display.
They've modified everything on this one. It's not even high.
Go ahead and pull that window all the way up again there.
Good God, this is better than the one I've got. And
Why
again,
didn't
the one
you
I've
bring
got is
yours?
on a hard drive. I'm not allowed to bring mine out of the office yet. They told me not to bring out my copy yet. It still has some problems, the one I've got.
Any excuse.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's not the same. I don't know what demo that is. That's not, somebody must have been playing that.
This is a card?
It's gonna redraw each time you move that scroll bar, Eddie.
Yeah, just leave it.
That's
Yeah, no.
why I moved it one time up to the top.
As soon as it's finished drawing that, it'll go full screen on you.
Are these the different pages?
What I wouldn't give my AP4 hard drive.
Well, this what you're seeing right now is not dependent on the hard drive. This is dependent on calculations. And you'd be amazed at what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's just it. See, what it's drawing right now, it's also drawing all the detail that you can't see in that resolution.
I mean, we can zoom up closer on this here and actually see the words, even to the point that they're that size.
Will this machine support the math chip, the 68,000?
We have not been,
The math chip's not out yet, but it's coming.
Motorola doesn't know what they're doing on that stuff yet, so. Up to this point, they haven't, I mean, in the past half year, they've had more machines start on the 68,000 family than they've known what to do with. So they're really being pushed.
We've drawn it several times. We've got this white now, but it's going to draw the whole lot of thing. On the base way, just show that's what it's like.
Yeah, there's too much detail here.
Okay.
Yeah, it
I
takes
mean, I can imagine what they're doing inside of here, because that's probably almost complete circuit design inside of that. Buildings get done. I haven't got these pictures. I've got a lady and
See, the point of all this is we can zoom on any section we want. We can even turn on a grid, whatever kind of things we want to do. Look like this. So now suddenly you can
now
see.
this is what we couldn't see before. A lot more detail.
But see, it's all being drawn in the computer's memory, so. Now the text is kind of not understood. Now we've got a label here just to give an example. Let me just give a name. That text can be anywhere we want it to be in any size we want it to be.
I put support this be some sort of a plotter.
Oh yeah, it comes with plotter drivers and things like that. We are able to run other printers, not just the ones on there. You have to have a printer driver for them, but other than that, you can.
Now see, this label can be any size we want it to be.
That's the first label down there.
Yeah. Now I could zoom, for instance, on that O.
Oh, yes, please.
And again, put another label in it. And I can do it on down to infinity. And that's why it takes it so long to draw. Hi, how you doing? It draws, you know, all that, even though you can't see that. At least it's keeping track of it.
Oh, you can probably drive it down to about 8.5 megabytes, can't you? Probably not
Yeah,
quite
you
to
could
infinity.
pretty well infinity down to 8.5 megabytes, start running it really down there some.
And your text will be drawn in any, you know.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I don't know why I did that. See, look.
Now zoom back out to that first scene. Now, that's the first dot, that's the one outside of that. Okay, it drew the first word, now it drew this one on top of that one. Now it's drawing the next one on top of that one. Essentially we have this nice big block of blue where all these little words are.
And you can turn on a grid.
Hold on, she's writing. She's undrawing the screen and now she's drawing it back up on it. You really put the grid on first.
Look at that.
The word software. Now
A
it's
couple of times.
the bigger one, and then the word software itself again. That's 4 times. We're on the third one. Now we're on the fourth
See?
one.
That's what's going on.
Sure would make it easy to sit down at your home computer and design your house, wouldn't it?
What plotters is it? your
It's supposed to go for the HP and one other one, but I've got the list out in the car. By the way, that's that lovely O that we're sitting inside of there.
And we're gonna sit inside of this though. Oh, actually, we're gonna wait and sit inside.
I hope that texture, for example, supports a plotter. Because,
That's a function of the printer drivers.
And we could even go, you know, much, much further should we choose to. Because even though that's a mishmash right now, it actually drew it correctly.
No, we're about, I don't know.
We're way down.
If you look at these things here, the little tiny scroll bars, that is proportional to the size that you're actually sitting on, okay? In other words, it changes. If you've got a large area, it shrinks as that gets bigger and bigger, okay? We've gotten to as small as that one's going to get, and we're pushing it over here real quick. So that gives you the idea of the scale that you're actually working in. That's not going to get any smaller over there. I mean,
so it's not infinitely down. I mean, there's a limit.
oh, no. There are limits to this. Okay, they're not limits to this,
Oh, I see.
supposedly.
You just won't see that it gets
You
smaller.
won't get any smaller. You can't get any smaller than one dot. If you see it get smaller than that, it disappears into some la-la land, which means that it's useless to you. But if you ever got to this point here, I mean, it's useless to get to this point. Now it's drawing the grids on the screen.